Hey, welcome to UFO Buster Radio News. I'm your host, Manny Moonraker, and this is the UFO News Report number 197. 197. And I just want to retract something I said yesterday because it was so damn cold. Like in my inside, my teeth were chattering while I was doing the podcast. Yesterday, which I kind of recovered a little bit later on in the podcast yesterday, and I said, the Milky Way has a bunch of galaxies. No, Moonraker, you dipshit. The Milky Way is a galaxy. It just has a shitload of stars in it. I listened to it. I did. I listened to it after I did the podcast. I said, what are you doing? You know better than this by now. You don't have over 300 episodes talking about this stuff and make stupid errors like that. And, I'm a regular guy, so I do. I do crazy-ass errors all the damn time. And you know what? For those of you who don't like listening to what I'm about to say, just close your ears and close every single orifice that's going to go on red alert. But no fucks are given. Yes, I fuck up. I'm human. That's what being human is all about. Fucking up. But anyway, I thank you guys for listening. I thank you. And I invite you to follow me on social media, on Facebook, UFO Buster Radio, and Manny Moonraker pages. Join the group that's happening. And in April, we'll have a YouTube series attached to it. And that is UBR Truth Seekers. On Twitter, at UFO Buster Radio. And on Instagram, at Manny Moonraker. And listen, you may not find what you're looking for there. You got to be able to contribute to the conversation. That's what those social media platforms are all about. It's not for you to go in there and find naked pictures of women in there. Somebody on UBR Truth Seekers tried to post an invite to some kind of a nudie site. No, fuckers, it's not that kind of a group. That's not the truth you're trying to seek. It's not a bunch of naked women. No, don't fucking do it. It's not what we're trying to promote. If you need to promote your nudie pics, there's other places you can do it, not on a UFO-related website, page, or whatever. And listen, I'm sure there's plenty of members out there that wouldn't mind a couple of booby shots if they could get some on the regular. But we don't need it there. That's not what the conversation is about. Jeez Louise, fuck my life. Just keep it clean. That's all I'm saying. Keep it clean. Besides that, the news report today brings back one of our recently made popular astrologists, a professor from one of those Ivy League schools. And this guy, let me tell you, I don't know why he was hiding under a rock to begin with. It makes no sense because the guy is bringing some knowledge, and you really have to listen to what he's saying. You got to listen to what he's espousing out there, what he's trying to bring to the people. Don't get put off. Don't get put off by rubber dickers who want to say that you shouldn't listen to him because he's fucking crazy. Nope, not one bit. Keep your ears open. Keep your minds open. And let's get into that news report. So fucking exciting. I love it. That is so exciting to me, that little news intro. I think I'm going to change it. I'm going to be honest with you. It's too much grandeur in it. I feel like I need to bring it every time I hear that. Like bring some real heat into the news report. But the news report is whatever the fuck it is. I can't make more of it. The title for this particular article is UFO Proof Alien Societies Can Be Found with This Easy Method, claims Harvard professor. And this Harvard professor that we talked about maybe a week or so ago, he's no stranger to UFO communities right now. It's Avi Loeb. That's right, Avi. My boy Avi from Harvard. Avi a couple of weeks ago said, hey, you guys stop in the science community being dickheads and saying that it could never be aliens. That's what Avi said. He said Oumuamua could be an alien artifact. No matter how the fuck it got there, no matter what happened to get it there. It might not be an alien ship. It could be a piece of a ship. It could be a piece of something that's alien because it was traveling from interstellar space. That information you guys know about Mr. Avi here. You know. He went the I don't give a fuck route and he put that out there, and of course everybody just took a big dump on him. But we gotta love this guy. We gotta love this guy. I think he might be the second coming of the father of ufology. He might be like the cousin of the father of ufology. Right? We might have to have a Project Blue Book 2 just for Avi. Just so that you guys know. I'm pushing for it. So apparently Avi sat down with Express UK. And like I said, listen, this is not one of those publications that you take lightly in ufology. Because a lot of times they report a lot of shit, a lot of bullshit, a lot of confusing crap that doesn't make any sense, like Scott C. Waring. But then they have people like Avi Loeb. The professor is speaking from his scientific perspective, and he's giving us real good information. So you, Mr. Waring, listen to this. Stop fucking looking at the NASA pictures and videos. Stop fucking around. Get yourself your own goddamn telescope and listen to what the fuck Avi said. And Scott, if you're on here, just click in the description. The link is there. Read the whole fucking article, okay? Stop with the pareidolia. It's killing us. Avi said to the Express UK, he says, hey, if you want to find alien civilizations, there's a surefire, specific type of star you should look for. And I'm telling you, as my name ends in lobes, I'm telling you that this is what will be one of the easiest way to look for ETs out there 4.2 far. He says you need to look at a small dwarf star. That's the first thing in the recipe for identifying these type of civilizations. Look for a fucking dwarf star. Don't be going all willy-nilly all over the damn place looking for every fucking star that comes in your sight. No, you need a dwarf star. And then he says the problem or the issue or what really is the best thing about these dwarf stars is that any planet in the habitable zone, as also NASA likes to say, the Goldilocks zone, which is around the same position that the planet Earth is to our sun. For those of you who didn't know, cha-ching, there you go, just for you. Those planets in that particular zone always have the same side of the planet facing that dwarf sun, kind of like our moon. Has a dark side, has a light side. According to Avi and his expansive knowledge of this topic, he says when you have a dwarf star, the planets around that dwarf star are not rotating on their axis. They basically have one side facing that sun. And he says what you got to do at this point, because these planets have a permanent day side and a permanent night side, which tells you that some fuckers on one side of the planet are hot as fuck and they got like bloodshot eyes because the fucking sun is always there, and the other assholes on the other side are always in the dark, so they're freezing their asses off. That's my translation, just to bring it down to, we're not talking in science terms anyway. And he says this, and here's a quote. And one can tell if that happens because the faces of the planet as it goes around the star would look different. If the dark side is illuminated artificially, we would not see the same light curve. And the same is true about the heat distribution across the surface of the planet, because guess what? The dudes in the dark side, they need to bring the heat over from the light side. I'm not talking about Star Wars here, people. We're talking about civilizations that need to survive because one side of the planet is too fucking hot and too bright, and the other side of the planet is too fucking dark and too cold. He says these are the things that you would use to determine if a planet around a dwarf star has life, has intelligent life capable of having industrial mechanisms on it. So he says, be open-minded. Think about what you can find. think about the fact that on that dark side, there might be a shitload of industrial pollution. The atmosphere on that side might be really fucked up, kind of like some of the cities here in the United States. He says he calls this approach, he calls it space archaeology. And it says digging into space and searching for traces of other civilizations that may not exist anymore or could be existing. And, the problem with all this is you're looking back for many of these billions of light years. So by the time that you see this whole interaction between the light and dark side of the planets around these dwarf stars, those fuckers could have been kicked the bucket a long time ago. About 1 billion years ago, they probably died. But we want the evidence. We want something that shows that there is life. And that is the conversation he's given us. That's the information. We have to be careful with taking guys that have the knowledge. A lot of us, we gravitate to Scott C. Waring and him sitting on his happy chair looking at all these old images and pictures. No, we really need to look at what guys like Avi Loeb here, what he's telling us. He's done the research. You guys remember when we covered him with this Oumuamua, or Mau, we covered that he's a published author on this topic. And he has done tons of research papers. So he's not coming from the perspective that he's sitting on his chair with a Miller Lite and sucking on a cigar, playing with himself, and finding imaginary shit on pictures. That's not what he's doing. He's got tons of research. And if he's telling you dwarf stars is a good way to start the search for civilization elsewhere, why not take him for his word? Hell, why not research that? I think, as part of a little side project, I'm going to look up all this dwarf star information. This is the news report that came from this particular publication. And, I was astonished by it. Now, there was other things out there. Apparently, MIT, in their paper, has put out some information about Planet 9 or Planet X. Even MIT is jumping into this craziness. And we might just cover that tomorrow. But even MIT is starting to concede that decades of research show that there is another significantly sized planet or object beyond the Kuiper Belt. And when MIT gets involved, everybody listens. Everybody pays attention. But that's what I'm saying about Avi. Don't discredit him or think that he's a rubber dicker just because he was talking about Oumuamua. Listen to the knowledge. It's time to really take a good look at the planets that he's saying are around dwarf stars. And let me tell you, on the surface, it makes a lot of sense, right? If your planet is not rotating on an axis and one side is warmer than the other, one side is light, one side is dark, you've got to do something to adjust to that in order to survive. This is the episode for today. I thank you guys for listening. All I'm saying is we got to give this guy a chance. We got to give this guy the opportunity to get his perspective up. And people in the science community should stop fucking around and chopping him down because they continue to come out of the woodwork. And that is what we need. Ciao.